Hi, this is Julie Geller, and welcome to this edition of Spotlight On. This is actually Spotlight on the road. As you can see, I'm not in my usual studio. I am on the road, making the best I can, making do with what we got, as always, bringing the creativity to you from everywhere. So thank you so much for being with us today. I'm so excited. We have got an amazing guest today, Sharon Saraga Walters. And Sharon is I want to see it, make sure I get this right, a fitness trainer of gratitude. And we're going to hear more about what that means. Sharon is also an author. And today we're going to really dive into her process, her writing process, and her whole process. So welcome to the show, Sharon. So happy to have you with us.
Oh, thank you, Julie. I so appreciate this. This is great.
So can you tell us what a fitness trainer of gratitude is?
Well, it's a name I came up with because I've spent most of my life in the fitness world. I was a fitness trainer. I had my own business. And the two things, I call them my superpowers, that really have run my world for quite many years, has been exercise and gratitude. So
Mhm.
I said, well, let's combine the two, and there you have it.
I love that. And the reason I wanted to reach out to you to be a guest on our show today is because you have actually written three books on this topic. I am lucky to own one of them, 300, the 28 day gratitude workout,
Mhm.
and Thursday's note. And I know most recently, tell us the name of your new book.
The new book is called Gratisize 365.
Yeah. So my understanding is these are all ways to combine gratitude with physical movement. Is that correct?
Not necessarily. Some has physical movement, but it's an exercise that I've written. There's exercises that help strengthen your gratitude muscles. So some can be physical, but a lot of it is kind of emotional from the heart, actions, giving you writing and journaling, all kinds of things. So it's an exercise, but it may not always be physical.
Hmm. So the first question I have for you is why gratitude?
You know, for me, gratitude, I've done a lot of personal growth in my life, and gratitude seemed to be the one that really resonated most for me. It in using like I really believe that every time I go through an issue or something, I'll always go through the issue, but then I'll always go, and then I'll find the gratitude, and it just naturally came to me always when I
Hmm.
would have the issue, and then I'd say, but I'm really grateful for this. I really appreciate this. So
Hmm.
it's just I always say that gratitude has been in my DNA. I got an extra bit of gratitude is what I've always
Hmm.
said, and it's just always been my go-to. And that has and I love the way it makes me feel. I love the way my life shows up. I love the way I show up so much more with using the gratitude. And gratitude for me has been my secret sauce.
Mm. So have you in some ways combined that with physical activity, or have you kept those mostly separate?
Well, now I combine now I definitely combine them. Back then when I was a trainer and so forth, it was separate. I didn't put the two together. I did have them separately. I mean, I used to train clients. I've run marathons. And really truthfully, as I'm thinking now, I don't really know that I formally put gratitude in when I was running my marathons and so forth. But
Hmm.
now I definitely I'm when I'm at the gym, I'm
Hmm.
always, the gratitude part comes. I'm always acknowledging the people, my body, so I really am combining it now together.
And are you combining it specifically with body movements, or is it
More
more of a
more
mental?
internal appreciation, more
Uh-huh.
just appreciating my body for what it's doing. I think
Mhm.
that's more my thing, is that I just I notice my body. I go, wow, I just appreciate the movement of it, what it's doing, each body part, which I never
Mhm.
did before. I never
Mhm.
really gave it that attention.
Mm, mm. This is something I didn't think about either until years ago. I went to meditation retreat,
Mhm.
and there was something called, it was with Thich Nhat Hanh, and
Mm.
it was something called, I think it was called like, I can't, something like full gratitude. I don't remember. And we all lied down on the floor, and they took us through this amazing exercise, which was like, okay, we're going to feel your lungs and take a
Mhm.
moment to be thankful for your lungs breathing in and out all the time. And now let's feel our spleen, and let's
Mhm.
feel, like, literally went through these parts of my body I had never thought about, honestly. Um,
Mhm.
And that for me was like a huge moment to just to become to start to have that awareness of all these parts of our bodies that we're not connecting to all the time necessarily, and if you know, and to really take a moment to be so grateful for these parts of our body that are keeping us alive every moment.
That's so true. And going back to even what even got me doing all this work and even writing the books, it was really started by Rhonda Byrne wrote the book called The Magic. She also wrote The Secret.
Mm-hmm.
And in that book woke me up because all the things that she put in there, it was a 28-day format.
Mm-hmm.
And I was stunned about all the things that I knew, but I took for granted to be grateful for.
Mm,
Simplest things. And that was the start of my journey with it, really.
mm,
It just,
mm.
it woke me up. So you're saying the body parts, but then she went into everything around us that just, I'm like, oh my gosh, I just was taking it for granted.
Can you give us an example of something you might have taken for granted before that now you wouldn't?
Oh, let's see. Oh, there's many, but one of the things that three things I'll say. The first one is the shower. Okay, so I never got in the shower and really acknowledged the water, that I even had the choice of hot or cold water and clean water. I didn't. I just got in the shower and that was it. And
Mm-hmm.
there's not a moment that I go in now in the shower and that's the first thing that comes to my head.
Mm-hmm.
It's there and I thank it. So that was one. I mean, how simple is that? Another one is my car. Okay, so I write this in the 28-day gratitude workout, acknowledging my car for getting me. I never acknowledged my car. I just got in the car and drove. And now I'm always thanking it. I get in the car and I really just say thank you, and I've named my cars and just there's a real acknowledgement with my car.
Mm-hmm.
And the third one is my closet, which I write in the book too. Life changing for me. I would never, I'd go in my closet and I'd complain about the clothes that were in it. Like not enough, oh my gosh. So now I have this love fest in my closet. I'd go in and I feel good with it. And if there's things that I don't like, I get rid of them, and I get new things. So I have a great relationship with my closet. Those are my three.
I love that. And I want to pick up on the first one because
Uh-huh.
this is going to be a perfect segue into the next question I have. Years ago, I read a book also where it was a different book and it was about something different, but the author acknowledged how she got into the shower and she realized most people in the world don't have this option to have a shower. Most people don't have an option to have a hot shower. And it was the same wake up moment for me since then. Same. So that to me is bringing my mind is bringing us to the power of writing and sharing our experience. And something that I was really interested in about you is you said you never planned to become an author. It like wasn't something, but you just loved gratitude so much that you had to share it. Is that right?
Yeah, and it really is true. I mean, I got into some journaling just for myself
Mm-hmm.
for many years. But no, I didn't. I never ever thought of writing a book. It was never there. And
Mm-hmm.
naturally, when this idea came about combining the gratitude and exercise, and it just started coming through so quickly, the
Mm-hmm.
exercises and how it just was, I couldn't believe how it just came down on paper and just really it came there. And luckily my wife, she edits. So that helped a lot, having somebody or finding somebody who can then edit the book or the
Mm-hmm.
writing, because that was never possible for me. And yeah, and then, you know, and once it was done, well, actually before that, back it up, I realized I love this so much. It meant so much to me. I said, I have to get it in a book because I want others who are interested to see this.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, it wouldn't happen. And that was the reason, just to get this out in the world.
So the process for you was you had this idea like I want to write a book to give other people this, help other people acknowledge this as well, and then it just flowed. It flowed. Is that how it worked for
Well,
you?
I would say first the idea came and then it just flowed for me. And then
Hmm.
once I was finished with the flow and it came so easily, because I've never been on this journey of doing that.
Yeah.
Then once I saw what I did, what I completed, it was a knowing that this I needed to get out in the world. It was just
Okay.
I knew that it was it meant so much to me, and I thought it might mean something for other people too.
So as this information was flowing through you and you were getting it down, did you know that you were writing a book? Like, what did you think you were doing?
No, Well, actually, I thought I was doing a workshop because at one point, somebody wanted me to participate in a workshop, and I'm like, what am I going to talk about? And that's when the ideas of combining the two together came in, was for a
Hmm.
workshop. That never happened, but the book did.
So
Yeah.
at what point did you realize, gosh, I've written a book?
Well, I think that Rhonda Byrne really helped me in that, it was almost like, wow, I loved hers. If she could do it, why can't I? And it was coming from a fitness exercise way of going with it, because that was me. I think that was my kind of what came through for me. Mhm.
Mm. So that was your first book. That was a 28
Yes.
day gratitude workout.
Uh-huh.
So it sounds, I'm hearing there was really no friction there because you didn't have a whole mind game about it because you didn't even know you were writing a book, right?
It's interesting. Yes, I went to another workshop that talks all about writing books and how you do it, and which I never did. I never went to a workshop of that sort.
Hmm.
And I realized that there was nothing, I didn't have any negative self-talk ever. In any of these books, that was amazing for me, that I realized there was no negative self-talk that came through me.
So
It was
even
just
with two and three, you had a clean process.
it was a love. It was something I enjoyed. I always do things, whatever has made such an impact on me, that's
Hmm.
what I do. I either speak it and now write it, in a book. But yeah, I just, there was no self-talk because I knew this could make a difference. It made one in my life. Yeah.
Hmm. Interesting. So I'm curious, do you have self-talk in other areas of your life? Like, was this cleaner than other areas or
Um,
is it on par?
I would say in the past, yes. It's, since I've been doing the work and with gratitude, the self-talk is I mean, I just don't have as much of it. It'll pop up from time to time, but not nearly what it used to.
Hmm.
I think mainly the self-talk sometimes, I'm getting better, but at first I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I've written books, and I'm sitting here talking about it, and I've been doing many talks about this book, and it has, the self-talk is gone. It's kind of like it's now a part of me. It's like I'm embracing it as we've all become one. The book and
Hmm.
all that I've done, it's really, it's in me now. And that
Hmm.
took a little while to take
Mm.
that all in. Mhm.
Mm. So I want to make sure I'm hearing you correctly. So with the gratitude practice in your own life, the negative self-talk has decreased.
Oh,
And
immensely.
there was none in the writing of any of the books, but there seems to be very little across the board in your life because of your gratitude practice.
Absolutely. I mean, I absolutely, I mean, I think when there's hard challenges and things, yes, it's still there, but it's so much less, because
Mhm.
it's just, and it's a choice. That's the thing I've realized is I have really chosen to do this work and continue doing this work, whether anybody chooses to do it or not. I mean, I'm doing it, and I'm really seeing the results of it from it.
Mm. So does this work have a spiritual component for you?
Yes, I would say absolutely. I'm pausing there for a moment because I just did a talk the other day around prayer. This was a woman that I met, and her talk is all about prayer, and you'll actually really appreciate this. And as I was talking with her, we were talking around gratitude, and I actually wrote a prayer for this, and it was, what came to me was how, because I don't use the word prayer and pray. I do use spirituality. Spirituality is definitely a part of my world, but I don't use the prayer and pray word. But as I was doing it, I was saying how all the gratitude actions really are a prayer.
Hmm.
So yes, I would say it is very spiritual. And it also, my feelings around gratitude as well, and the action of it, my heart, it opens your heart. My heart has never been more open.
Hmm.
I mean, so often. I mean, it's open so much, I mean, most of the time. And that, to me, that's very spiritual. The actions and the thoughts that come from an open heart.
Mm. So I'm curious. The reason I was asking about a spiritual component is, do you think part of the ease is a feeling of like being on mission or doing your work that you're supposed to do, something like that? Like, is that
Oh, absolutely.
Is that a piece of it? Okay.
Absolutely. I've said from the get-go when I started, this is my legacy. I want to leave in the world. Absolutely. From the first book, I knew it. This was my calling. This is what I was called to do.
Hmm.
And it just, yes.
What a beautiful legacy. So what advice would you give to somebody who's listening to this conversation is like, well, Sharon just got to do it so easily, you know? For me, it's a huge struggle. Like I'm sitting here and I'm just struggling with my book or struggling with my creative work, whatever it is. Do you
Mm.
have any advice for somebody for whom it's not flowing so easily?
You know, I think that, I think journaling and working on what might be stopping you or where the self-talk is coming in, and really here's the other thing I think, being really honest with yourself. Is this mine to do? Is this what I'm writing? Is it really what I want in a book? Do I want it in a book? Or is it just for me for the moment? Is it a journal? You know,
Hmm.
I think getting really honest with yourself, why am I doing this? What's the purpose of it? Because when I got excited and the knowing that this is what I wanted, that's where the ease came. That's, I
Hmm.
think, what I would say about that.
Hmm. Hmm. And for some of us, I'd say there is that knowing, like, I want to paint, I want to write, and we still don't have the ease.
Mhm,
There's still and I've, a lot of different ideas about this. I think sometimes we're focused on us rather
mhm,
than focused on service. That's a big one I see, that the pain of, um, like everything I hear from you, there's a focus on service. Like I learned this and it's changed my life and I want to serve other people so they know this.
mhm.
Seems to me like that's a piece of it as well.
No, that really is, and that's something, I don't know how my parents, I think, kind of gave me that piece about service, because that really is that. I always do things in life that make me feel good, and if I
Hmm.
don't feel good, I usually ignore it. And service is definitely, is part of my in all my work. So fitness training and massage therapy, I've always been in service. So
Hmm.
maybe that's just my makeup, my who I am. And
Hmm.
if somebody is not in that place, which is fine, there may be more work to do for that. As
Hmm.
I've and look, I have done since 1989. I have been working on myself. Let me tell you, I have done so many courses, and I knew early on that I wanted to really keep working on myself so much. Um, it was important for me because I really wanted to be my best self, and I knew there were lots of things that I wanted to keep working on. So this did not just appear. It's
Hmm.
been it's been really a lot of work that I chose to do, for
Hmm.
myself.
Yeah, and I think that brings up an excellent point, which is I think in the public creative imagination, the artists and
Mhm,
creatives in our culture we see as suffering greatly. We see a lot of alcoholism and drug addiction. We see a lot of depression, unhappiness, and for some people, I know there's even fear of getting better because it's then like, will my creativity still be there?
mhm,
And I want to show that you're an example of somebody who has really gone the other way. That's like, I'm just going to be as healthy as I can, have my mind and spirit be so healthy. And you were witnessing the ease, the creative ease that comes to somebody who has done that, who's done the work.
yeah, that's really done the work because it didn't come. I mean, there are many things that occurred through that pattern, but yeah, that I did the work by
Yeah,
choice. Mhm.
yeah, yeah. And we're all reaping the benefits.
As I am, I will tell you, I really embrace that very much. I don't take this for granted. This way of feeling for myself. Yeah.
Mm. So Sharon, tell us where we can buy your books, where we can find you.
So the books, they're available on Amazon.
Hmm.
And also my website is gratisize365.com. The books are there. Then I do have my newest gratitude glasses. May I
Hmm.
show those?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So these are this was a dream I had for 10 years. And in January, I created these finally, and they're gratitude glasses, and they say gratitude on both sides. So
Love it.
I love these. They're my newest favorite thing. And those are on Amazon available, but you'll see it on the website too.
Love it.
of
And
the
can you spell out
graticide.
the website? Can you spell it out for us?
Yes, it's GRATICISE 365, the numbers.com.
Great. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you so much for your beautiful spirit. Thank you for the work that you've done on yourself, because it not only impacts you, but it ripples outward to all of us.
Mhm.
So thank you for your works, and thank you so much for being with us here today.
Oh, thank you, Julie. So appreciate it.
Okay. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.